In recent weeks, Democrats have scored huge electoral wins in Virginia, cultivated public opposition to the GOP tax bill, purged two liberal stars accused of sexual misconduct, and come close to winning a Senate race in Alabama that should be out of reach in such a conservative state. But they still can't agree on what the party stands for. From immigration to banking reform to taxes to sexual harassment, many in the party believe it does not have a unified message to spread around the country. Those concerns flared up at a party meeting over the weekend in Washington, D.C. Anybody running for office right now has to talk about the reality that people are facing in their own lives. People aren't interested in abstractions, said Jeff Weaver, the campaign manager for Sen. Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential bid. Obviously, President Donald Trump's behavior is in many ways repugnant, and that's obviously an issue. But candidates have to talk about how they're going to improve the lives of ordinary Americans. And if you do that in an authentic way, it will resonate. Democrats tumbled into the Me Too moment by successfully urging Rep. John Conyers Jr., D. Michigan, and Sen. Al Franken, D. Min, to resign following accusations of sexual misconduct, and the party triumphed in Virginia in November, winning all three statewide offices on the ballot and more than a dozen legislative seats. Democrats now lead in polling ahead of the 2018 midterm elections. Whether Democratic nominee Doug Jones wins in Alabama, they expect voters to remember Trump's embrace of Republican nominee Roy Moore. But pulling those advantages into a coherent message remains elusive in Trump's tweet-driven Washington. Instead, Democrats are continuing to argue among themselves over how to present themselves to voters. In addition, the bitterness cultivated during the party's 2016 presidential nominating contest has not fully faded. The Democratic National Committee's Unity Reform Commission, launched to settle disputes that surfaced last year between the Hillary Clinton and Sanders camps, on Friday and Saturday suggested new rules for 2020 intended to open the nominating process up to more voices and to break the establishment's grip on the process. Sen. Bernie Sanders, I. Vermont, and two of his Democratic colleagues have suggested that President Donald Trump should consider resigning, after a run of sexual harassment scandals that has driven out some members of Congress. Sen. Al Franken felt it proper for him to resign, Sanders said in an interview. Sen. Bernie Sanders, I. Vermont, and two of his Democratic colleagues have suggested that President Donald Trump should consider resigning, after a run of sexual harassment scandals that has driven out some members of Congress. Sen. Al Franken felt it proper for him to resign, Sanders said in an interview. But the commission has also become a place for each faction of the party to vent about what was lost last year. Commission members from both camps warned that the party has not yet solved the problems with branding and organization that led to its 2016 losses. All I will do is refer you to all those silly news stories in September of 2016 that said, oh, Hillary Clinton has 77 field offices in Pennsylvania and Donald Trump only has 2, said Elaine Carmack, a Clinton appointee.